Let's run through the same sequence of behaviors. That was not the same sequence. I couldn't resist. So play me twice. Got a game. Play me again. Sweet. Oh, got a cue. Oh my gosh. I think I'm doing the wrong thing. Let's find some numbers in here. That number is played already. 7, 9. 1's played. 3? 3 is not played. 8's not played. I saw 8 in there. 8's not been played. 2. There it is. Why didn't the 2 get played? Oh, because there's a win condition. Okay, now can we laugh at ourselves? Okay, because we made a silly mistake. Again, we tried to move it to 3, win condition. Ask for the state of the game. Okay, and there it shows our win condition. And everything's working. Did you freeze on me again? Okay, yeah, I believe that's the problem. Sending in a formatted string in a formatted string. I don't even know what goes on in the formatted string function call. So the case went for separating the calls of the method. You gotta send a message or you send a formatted message, and you know which one you're sending. Which begs the question: you can send in a string array without the params, but the params provide the flexibility. Okay, so working. How about new game? New game. It should say that I requested a new game. It didn't say because it didn't work. Let's see why we are missing a call to new game. So we have new game, NEWGAME. Okay, so that has new game handler. What happens in the new game handler? If state is waiting, then it would restart the game. Is state waiting? Game state is not waiting. Game state is game over. So when it goes to the game over state, how does it get out of the game over state? I don't think there's a way to get out of the game over state. How about if I request a game? That's just adding more players to the queue. And we're stuck in a perpetual end of game state. Interesting. Okay, that must be fixed, no doubt. New game handler. If game state is waiting, why would it be waiting? If game state is game over. Oh. We could put in a next command. What it's doing, it's waiting. So if I say play me here, here's the play me handler. So if the play me handler is called, it immediately adds the requested player to the list. Then it says that, yeah, man, we added you to the list. If the game is not in new game state, it returns. And right now we know the game is not in a new game state, it's in a waiting state. And it has to be in a new game state to. Okay, how does it get to a new game state? It gets to a new game state out of a waiting state. And it can't get into a waiting state. It's in the game over state. Okay, now that it's in a waiting state. No, it's in the game over state. We want to get it back to the waiting state. New game. If I call new game, it only. Okay. So. So if you're playing. So after the game is over, someone needs to change states. Okay. So after the game is over, we need to check the queue. If it's queued, we fix up the queue. So if it's not a new game, then we return. But that's fine too. But we need to check the queue. So maybe you call queue players. So if you call queue players or queue game, let's just try queue game. QUEUE. So this is gonna check to see if the queue has enough players for a game, and if it does, then okay, it queues the game. Gave it away. So if someone is requesting a game, it queues the game, but it only queues the game if it's in game state. If it's not playing, right? If it's waiting, and it will only be waiting. Yeah. So it'll only queue a game if it's waiting. If it's not in the waiting state, then it will return. So it gets to the waiting state. It knows. Okay. So now that we have our queue game, we can queue the game from anywhere. And I am thinking the game needs to be queued from anywhere, especially the game over state. So now if the game is over, how does it know? So it checks game over here. Oh, it sets the game over state here. Didn't anything there yet. And update UI. Update. If the game is not over, then it plays. Okay, that makes sense. And also here, we check for game over state. Check gameplay state. So check gameplay state is called after every move. So check gameplay state is called after every move. And what's this called? Oh, okay, this is just a check. So check gameplay is called after every move. So that's where we will want to queue. Check the queue and see if there's a queue. So we get the draw, we get winner, we check the queue. Alright, and checking the queue will put the game state. So that's game state playing. So if I decide to check the queue, and if there is something in the queue, game state goes to a rare occasion of waiting. From game over to waiting. And once in that state, it'll start a game from someone requesting a game. But nevertheless, after game over, it would request a game from players from the queue. Alright? Cool. And that will change states up for us properly. Start a new game. Starting a new game does what? Starts it a new game. And yeah, okay, so everything's looking like it's wired up to give us the outcome that we're looking for. After the game is over, it checks to see if there's players in the queue. If there is players in the queue, it starts a new game. Sends that across the wire, and did it send the win condition? It did. Okay. Cool. So we just start a bunch of games and add ourselves to the queue while the games are playing. So play me and me, and no game started, and me, and me, and me, and me. Okay, we have a really large queue here. What's going on? Oh, game state, game state. And me. Game state's a new game. Yeah. I found the problem that occurred last time. It's shutting down. It's shutting down. Okay. Part room. So it's shutting down. So go here. Ah, it's probably trying to join. I don't even think I need that. Will the thread shut down if the main application shuts down? If a main application starts a background thread, will it shut down? I know this has got to be where it's hanging, because I just pressed the stop button. So play. If the thread is alive, part the room, stop monitoring, join, and it stays joined indefinitely. So if the thread is alive, join it with, there's a main thread. I'm going to set a millisecond, a time in here. I think that would avoid it from hanging. And it'll just time out milliseconds and give it hundredths of a millisecond. Oh, that was awful. My gosh. Can't have your application hanging, waiting to join. Okay. Shut down. Made it there, made it there. We're joining. End of a second. Cannot access a disposed object. So it's sent. So it's receiving a chat message. Part. Think. Maybe I just have to wait for the bot to part. Yeah. I bet that's what's happening. So it can't send that because it's disposed, and it's disposed because I stopped joining and I smashed everything. So I'm gonna leave the join and see how long it takes to part the room. Okay, so entered, checking. Okay, so we're in, and let's try and part. So it's called part. Went to form closing. Okay, so I'm going to assume right now the thread is still running while it's trying to part the room. So let's wait out this part. I have no idea how long it's going to take, and so I guess I'll put it on a little timer. We don't want to wait forever. That's madness. Where's my clock? Okay. Okay, so we're trying to see how long it takes here. Okay, so we know it's sure. I checked the top of 124, 1124. I'm assuming it sent that message. Okay. So this is where we're sending and receiving messages. This is our receive handler. Let's see what's going on. Okay, ample time has passed. Alright. So I see no action here. And I know I can't send that message. So how long? A second? Okay, after a second, if you can't part in a second, we're not worried about parting. Okay, and close. Stop chat. Okay, so 1 second should pass, and okay, no errors, no hanging. Cool. So if it joins, it waits, and if no join, and then in 1 second, it closes up. Now, that, what is that? A timeout, an int. So int. So we're gonna do that, and that can be equal. So wait a minimum of a second, and if you're not satisfied with a second, you can change it when calling the stop monitor chat function. Okay, and that won't break code. Should be okay. As a matter of fact, I can just run it, because we do need another test. Okay, let's just send over our little funny. Where's our funny? Game state. I like to see a game state. Where's our LOL? Yeah, you recognize that, huh? Good for you. All right, cool. So we're in our form closing, then we're in our shutdown. And Windows shut down. Okay, let's start again. Okay. Do a little giggle. Shut it down. Now let's find out what's going on here. So, cannot access a disposed object. So what's disposed, I'm assuming, is the client. Right? So can I remove? Maybe I can remove myself from the action. I'm gonna have to make it an event if I can't do that. So as I can add myself to the action, I should be able to remove myself from the action. And if so, okay, that's beautiful. So now let's get into those shutdown functions there. Form close and form closing. I started off cleaning this code so I didn't go through all of this stuff. So we stop monitoring the chat. So I'm thinking about if we should part the room. We stop monitoring the chat. First we stop monitoring the chat. Then we part the room. Yeah. And then we shouldn't be sending anything when it comes time to join. Okay, let me make sure of that. Okay, we'll do. This is the first problem we had. Okay, just a simple start and stop. Hang the application. And it does not now. Yeah. So it'll come, it'll join, and it'll join really fast because there's nothing being held. I think what was happening is that that action is still on the stack. And the stack can't unwind because that action is still there holding it open. So it just hangs here waiting for that action. And we can test that. And we shall. So now let's get back to the join and just break on the join and break on monitor. No. So we should get the same behavior as it was before, hanging when we close. So it's on join, hit play, and we're at the perpetual join. So cool, we've nailed down the problem. Yeah, that's a nice little debugging session there. Okay, so we have to remove the method from the action so it can release the resources. I think there's like an disposable call on the client, the TCP client, and that probably checks for other stuff. So yeah, there we are, successful. Cool. So that was a problem waiting to happen. So you have to remove yourself from the handler. It's not even a static handler. I thought if it was a static, event, you gotta remove yourself from it. This is not, it's not static. It's an action. You still have to remove yourself from it. So lesson learned. And now I know I have to do something that I thought I didn't have to. And that's why it wasn't done. I thought it was unnecessary. Okay, so we need our form moving. Alright. So cool. So that works. Now we can always go back to default to cleaning up the code. Now where were we? Yeah. And that's what we stopped that on. Okay. That's what we stopped on. So now we were doing a game finish. We were the queue. The queue is never ending. And it was never ending because it was waiting for a new game to be called. And if new game is called and it's waiting, yeah. Okay, so it's on new game. New game is not called. So if you press new game and it's waiting, then it starts a new game. How would I get into the waiting state? Restart does not put me into the waiting state. Does it default to waiting state? So here's the game state. It's default to waiting. Then it gets set to new game. So find out where that is. Where does it get set to new game? Curious, 'cause I don't find equals game state dot new game. So on start game it defaults, it goes to new game. It goes to new game and there might not even be a player in the queue. That's suboptimal. And it calls start game when the form is loaded. Okay, so that has to stop. So now you cannot call start game in the start. You don't know if anyone's waiting to play, man. So play me and play me. It's a new game. It will never start. It only starts. Yay! Clean shutdown. It only starts a game. Oh, a game over. No, it should also start when the queue gets to a certain point. So here we add ourselves to the queue, and if it doesn't equal waiting, then back out. So if it doesn't equal new game, as it was set before, then back out. I should just get it right the first time. Too many changes. I can just call a new game from locally here. So let's add one player. Start that up. See, so that's a totally different action than from before. So at least there's something different happening. Let's add another player and the game should start. So the queue should be 1, 2, 3 players in the queue. Yeah, see, that was a safe message sent. That's why it was too many messages too quickly. But the end result still showed me how many players were in the queue. Okay, now guess we gotta play a game. What would happen if I press new game now? We surely don't want someone to restart the game. Right? So new game now would do what? Let's see what method new game calls. New game calls new game handler, which says if it's in the state of waiting, then it would, so no one can start a new game now. So let's play out some funky game we got on our list here. Play it 1. Let's play at, I don't know, 8, 7. And we can't play at 1, 2, can't play at 4 because we want to win. And then move to 4. Game state, new game, index out of range. Where and why? So let's see what the call stack says. So the call stack is calling from monitor chat, and it says that index is out of range. Index is out of range in the action that was invoked here. And the action that's invoked is a move action. We know that because that's a move command, and they all work, so it would definitely default to the move handler. And the move handler reads an index out of range. 0, challenger, 1. We have 2 players, so that's not out of range. There's 2 players, that's not out of range. So if the game state is playing, which it quite possibly is, update invoke message data. That's gotta be good. So there's something in here. Alright. Oh, hang on. Game over. Where's the game over state? So once game over, it tries to start a new game. It hits the queue up and see if there's anyone waiting to play. Did we request more games than? Yeah, so there should be 3 people waiting to play in the queue. So index can be out of bounds where? Hang on. If queue right here. So try. Probably tried to add. So that'd be 1 increment, and probably tried to add too many players to here. I'm pretty sure that's what happened. So while queue count is greater than 0, right? You see, that's my bad. That is classic for loop. Yeah. For I equals 0 to how many players do we want? It's that simple. That's what should have been done in the first place. So we declare as a local integer. That could be moved out, and I mean, you might want to tag team or something, you know. Tag team tic-tac-toe. That sounds. Oh, wait a minute. That's actually not a bad name. I gotta add this name here to. How do I get there? I can go back to my channel. Or do I go to the profile? I go to the profile, and from here you can vote on the name. For the game. So here it has a. You can vote. Well, we don't need to keep that open. Chrome is a hog, memory hog. So yeah, I've been here a lot. So tag team. Tic-tac-toe is you'd be like tag teaming with the computer guy thingy, you know. So tag team tic-tac-toe. And I'm gonna try another one, similar but like, is that one word or two? So I'll go with this one. I'm gonna send those through. So submit them. Let's see the response. Like I know I'm the only one that's been submitting. Where's the current responses? I just sent a couple of them in. Okay. Sweet. Yeah, cool. So that's how you can add a name to the list and help us name that game. Okay, back to what I was doing now. So I got a little distracted there. Okay, so we're gonna DQ 2 players off the list. And we're gonna set their positions to player 1 and player 2 respectively. Don't need the index anymore. And we will not run into that problem of index out of range, because we're only ever going to request the exact amount of players out of that list, and we will only do it if there are more than one. So if there are more than one, then I think we could take 2 out of there. But anyway, let's continue. So let's add crazy. I want it to be an odd number. 8? Man, everyone wants to play this game. Imagine that. I'm going to send in a new game from the command line. Yeah, cleared it up. New game started by calculation. So, that being said, I should see the current players in the state. S-T-A-T-E. T-A-T-E. I do not see the current players in the state. Can I play? Cannot play. New game's not working either. Move to 2. Got nothing. Come on, LRL works. Okay, that's awfully weird. Game state's in the new game state. state shows me this state. It doesn't tell me whether it's in a new or game. Hmm. So if I call play me again, will it? Okay, so it ran that game. Okay. So this is calculation is playing, but it doesn't say who I'm playing against. And I know I'm playing against myself. See, look at that. Something's missing. So I play on 2. Notify the Nick. Calendar creation. It's not your turn. It is my turn. So my queue's got to be all screwed up. So I'm going to add another to the queue and see what's going on in there. Okay, it's a simple queue. What could go wrong? Yeah, people sitting around, they might want to engage. Okay, so this should be player 9. So it took the first couple of players off. So what happened there? Seemingly it worked, and it's telling me it's not my turn. Why would it tell me it's not my turn? And it is my turn because I'm the only player. It says notify the Nick, calendar creation, it's not your turn. Oh, negative, negative. Moves made. Memory. We'll get into this later. Something. Okay, here we notify the Nick. And we are notifying the Nick that it's not their turn. And let's see why. Continue. Where are we? Okay, so I added. Okay. So playing. Game state is now playing. If game state equals playing, then accept the move. Okay, which is not accepting the move because the Nick who's playing now is not the Nick of player 2, which is blank. And that had to happen here, where we are queuing players into the game from the list. And that's right here. So I if I okay, that's how they work. God. I minus 2 minus 1 is 1. So it will increment, go through 0, and say cool, added the first player, then it comes back here, then I would be 1, and it says, well, is I less than 2 minus 1? Is I less than 1? And it's going to say, well, yeah, I is less than 1. Then it backs out. So then only 1 player is added to the list then. Sagiboo. So we come in here, first things first. We don't start the game, see what state we're in. Okay, on game state waiting. So play me. It adds a player to the queue. I kind of don't want to see that anymore. Okay, so that's one player to the queue. Two players to the queue. Should have started a game, but nevertheless, let's start at a third player to the queue. Game state is still waiting. So someone needs to call new game at some time in this process. Okay, game started. But upon calling new game, it doesn't actually start the game. It just resets everything. Maybe it shouldn't be called new game. Okay, now that I requested, it ran through the queue and then it wants to play. So, first move at 4. Recognize it's a move. I know that the bubbles are filled up now. Yeah. So that's good. Let's play at 4. Can't play at 4. It's already used up. What state is it? It's my turn at O. I want to play at spot 4. 2. And how about 5? And 1. It's a race to the finish. Okay. So what just happened there? So it has a win. Hang on. That's 1, 2, 3 lines. Did it restart the game? So it has a win. It didn't even show the win. Okay, how many players did it pull off the queue? I wonder. Let's see how many players I had in the queue to begin with. Gosh, how far back does this go? 4 queued. That was pretty much like end game right there. So 4 queued. Queue another. So the queue length is 1. That's probably what happens there. Okay, queue length is 1. Queue length is 2. Queue length is 3. If it's 4, I'm gonna have to set it again. Oh my gosh, now I have to add another one. So it's 5, so I don't have to add another one. Let's add it to 5. That's where I need to be. Okay, so now let's play out our game that we did before and see if our queue lets us down. It doesn't let us down anymore. That'll be ideal, actually. So let's get to move 1. It doesn't matter. Move 5 is fine. Move 6. Nope, that's a block. Move 1. Move 6. Move 2 maybe. Yeah. And move 4 for the win. So cause a win and pull some people off the queue. I need to put a queue count somewhere. It's ridiculous. Okay. So someone else wants to play. So there should be 3 in the queue now. Queue count 3. So it's going to be adding number 4. Excellent. Why did it clear the game before? It showed the win. Exactly, there's 2 clears. It should show this one on the last. It says win, and it should show the state of the last game. And it's 1, 2, 3, 4 smokes and holy rollies. is the game is a win. I still have to do that. Starting the game. Yeah. So after every game, I'm gonna get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 lines spat out. That's still not bad. Okay, so when the game is coming to a close, we do a couple of things. Check game over. We send a message format that someone won. Huh. Where is that called? Game over. Let's find your references. So your only reference is right here. So if go game over, check playing state, which it does here and here. Oh, mouse click, we're not using that command. But we are using the play next move and update UI. So if so, play valid move, update game board. So playing the valid move and updating the game board, I should see an output of the valid game. And why I'm not seeing an output of the valid game is because, let's get here. When the game is over, there is no output of the valid game. There's just two outputs of one game. But I know one game is restarted, so the bottom is fine, but the top one is not. And when I added another player to the queue, I noticed that there were the right amount of players in the queue, so it didn't draw two new games. Or did it? So did you draw two new games? So that's a status call. Quite possibly to check state, but more likely to show game. And show game is called run queue. Okay, we run a queue, then we show the game. Hang on. Fixing the mic and headset combo there. So, okay, we got a new queue. We start the game. On move handler. So, after every turn, we update the UI. Call UI updater, which in turn it checks the state of the game. It's not even a damn updater. What do they call that? An updater. Okay, and after it moves, and it also, if I get the command state, so it moves here, and if the game is over, it moves. After each moves, it show the game state. And it uses the UI updater. So let's solidify. Calls the show game and the UI updater. And the UI updater checks for game over state. You know, it just doesn't sit right with me. So after we play, we call the UI updater. This UI updater is just not sitting right. So if I call UI updater, I show, oh, that's my side. And then showing the game is the chat room side. So when I call the UI updater, I should not be showing any game. Okay, so let's track down this show game state again. Let's find the first reference. That's when we ask for a state, and that's after every valid move, and that's when a queue is set up. So the queue is set up, and it's the only time we call show game state. So after valid move, it called show game state. That's the only other one that's there. So after a valid move was made, here it called show game state. By the time it called show game state, the UI updater had already checked and determined that it was game over. So we'd want to show the game state first and then call the UI updater. So play valid move, that's also on the UI updater, add last, blah. Okay, so it adds the last, updates the game board, and this is exactly that. It's the UI. So it updates the game board. Alright, this is good. Okay, so I think that will solve the problem. But we should get a printout of the last known state of the game, which was the win state. Okay, so play. I know that works, man. Play player 1, play player 2. Request a new game. Game started. Add this player, then you know that doesn't make sense to me. So, but anyway, I'm gonna add. So that's 2 players. That's 3 players added to the queue. Let's play our winning game. 2. Play at 4. 1's fine. Uh-oh. Now I have to play it like 5. Okay, and then 3. Where's 3? Well, I want to win this. Find 3. Find 3. So we found 3. The game is over. And it does not show the complete game. It shows part of the game. But the cool thing is at least it doesn't let you play again. That's the only good part. So we have 4 players in the queue. A game state that did not show the last. Alright. So what was changed? Why? And why was it wrong? So we swap those around. Update the UI. UI updater does that. It updates the UI. And Challenger is called whenever and however. So update the UI and move containing move, and I think I can pull that out. So this updates the UI, and that's fine. Update the UI again. Swear it's used. Then we show the game state, and upon showing the game state, Then we check against the play state, and that will let us know the game is over. And if so, it will request the game over conditions. Let the computer play. If the game is not over, okay. And that should give us a valid end game state. And it gives us a valid exception. So what does this say? Unable to read data from the transport connection. An established connection was aborted by the software or host machine. That would mean my connection's closed? Well, yeah. So new game. No, we need to see why this is not running. So when the second player requests to be added to the queue, why? Because it's not a new game. No, it is a new game. Yeah, it's a new game now. I want to find out why that action is not happening. So, new game. Player 1. Queue the game. Goes into the queue. Is the queue greater than 1? It is not. So it would undoubtedly leave the controller of that method. So we add another player. Okay, comes in, says, yeah, cool. So it sets it to waiting. It starts a new game. So let's step into the method. Okay, step out of the method. So new game started. Everything is all cleared up. And see how many players are playing. There's 2 players. We'll grab player number 1. We'll grab player number 2. And we're good. So now we're going to tell those players to get ready to play. We can step over that. So it says get ready to play. So I didn't do that the first time because it's a throttled call. Okay, that's fine. So they are ready to play. It's just I couldn't send the message because I was out of. I don't want to send an unsafe message there. Jeez. It's time to start the game. That may have to be. 'Cause you need to know, right? Send it on through. So, yep. Let's start the game on an unsafe message. So message format unsafe. Yeah. So that would register those guys right away, and they're able to play. So we're waiting, and we have I don't have a play me. Mr. Disrupt, wait. So I have a play me. So now we have 1 player in the queue. New game. I should just call that here. I call new game. It's all set and ready to go. Oh, look, another player wants to play. So Nice. The game has started as we expected. Ready up and start. Sweet. That's 1, 2, 3 minutes. Okay, so now let's move. Move 3. Move 2. Oh man. Now I have to play to win. Move 7. And move 1. Can I play move 1? Okay. And move. Oh, wait a minute. I gotta add some players to the queue. So there's 1 player in the queue now. There's 2 players in the queue. And 3. And we're gonna move to 5 to end the game. Cool. So showed game over. Went to game over state. And assuming we need a new game call. No? I'm in the game over state. I called new game. Reset. New game does not call a new game. So then I call new game from here. Request to play. Yeah, something's broken again. New game does not call new game from the chat. Okay, is that strange or it's just me? So let's go to our new game command, and if it's waiting, and that's why, or it's game over. So we need to check for 2 conditions: whether it's waiting or it's game state game over will allow a new game command to be sent. The button works because it's direct. It doesn't go through this call when it should, right? So I need to send a new connection that the game was started, but by who? By, I guess, by me, local. No. Okay, that's fine. Yeah. Another test, anyone? Okay. So begin. Have 1 player added. New game. Player 2. Sweet. Game started. I have 1 player in the queue. We move it 7. We don't want to move it 5. That's going to block. Move it 1. Then 5. What was that? 2 is not going to block. Then we're going to move it 3. And that should end the game. Whoa, wait a minute. Need some more players in the queue. That's 2 players, 3 players. So at the end of this, we should have 1 player in the queue, and a new game should have started with the result of the last game. Okay, there we go. And the new game did not start. It says it's game over, so a new game must be called from somewhere, from here or from there. So that's going to snatch 2 players off the queue and start the game. I want to check, make sure there's only 1 player left in the queue, because I don't have anything written on the UI. Hint, hint, hint. Okay. So call new game. It started the new game. But yeah, it never goes in here. You still have to request to play me. Okay, and that starts the new game. Okay, that's cumbersome. So when you request a new game, it also should check to see if there's players that's queued. And if they are, it should start a new game. So a new game handler. So we start a new game. Send a message. Check the queue. All right. Fixing my mic. So one player in the queue. I'll definitely start a new game. So I could just say waiting, or I can just add that player that did not start the new game. Add player number 3 and start a new game. New game started. So excellent. Let's play this one to the end. X plays at 2. X tries to play at 2 again and cannot. It says, hey, beep, beep. So O plays at 3. X should play at 5. And O can play wherever. Doesn't really matter because O is going to lose. Yes, I'm psychic. I saw the future. What is my queue? I need to make sure I have at least 3 players in the queue. So that's 1, 2, 3. New game started. So I'm down to 1 player in the queue. I'm going to add a couple more. So let's add 2 more players to the queue. That's 1. So the queue has 3. And we go. But is it the queue thing unthrottled? No, right? No, it's not. That sends a message. We can't have users spamming the thing, and that would get me banned. Let's make sure that the queues. Oh yeah, they are throttled. Okay, cool. Because I remember it skipped once, and then it sent the trailing count. So move 8. The game's over. It doesn't tell me anyone won, but I'll take that. The game is over. New game. Okay. Couple of players removed from the queue. Queue should still be 1. Easy way to find out, I guess. It's just do something. I'll click this chat button. It doesn't work. And there's a player in the queue. Alright. So after every game, new game needs to be called by someone to start the game. Awesome. Alright.